of a poem I wrote for Burns for present day. Here we go. Now, it's a reply to the laddies. The reply to the laddies is traditionally when women have a go at the men and tell men, you're no all that. Here's a reply to the laddies, for you know, men are nae all baddies. There's many things women can do that men cannae, like giving birth wearing false eyelashes as your man's crying like a big fanny. My mammy could use a sandal as a weapon and control the house as she made soup. My dad didn't know how to jump through that hoop. But he tried and he failed, and men are great too. Like daddies or the grandas, we all had a few who knew the score, who came to the fore when women needed the honours. Now imagine if Burns was alive in these corners, if Burns were here in COVID times, if Burns was still in our life, he'd still be giving us all his rhymes and running away for a wife. He'd hate to be woke, that gave him the boke. He'd be in the street wearing a mask, he'd be on Twitter taking the twits to task. He'd call big Boris a bam, he'd be using words like beau and fam. He'd have a TikTok dance that went viral. He'd get cancelled for using his biro, for writing down words that upset the birds, but he wouldn't care. He'd double down and call them fuds. He'd fight with trolls and call them beasties. He'd have to keep explaining the word breasties. He'd be on telly, on a comedy panel, hitting them with all his flannel. He'd a huge following. He would, on his YouTube channel. Influencers would scald his heels, and his poems would give us all the feels. Facebook would ban him every day as he tried to get out what he wanted to say. The internet would be upended. Everyone would be offended. They'd scream at his words as he tickled the birds and laughed as he shouts, no hell mended. Burns would have his own website with a chat room for lassies alone. And the snowflakes would shout and scream, no doubt, like a pompous wee dug with a bone. But he'd laugh in their face and he'd say, I'm no fae this place. I'm fae a time when a rose was a rose. You hate me now and you call me a sow. But you'll need me when you want to propose. And he's right. Burns had foresight. Men and women have changed since his day. I'm sure we can see that now. Oh. But to be courted by a man rough in the fields, writing poems over a plough. So let's raise our glasses for all the lassies that made Burns's heart beat so loud. Thank you. Enjoy.